Hello everyone and welcome back to the Amped Up Hardcore Survival series. I am here at the top of the mountain where today we're going to be building ourselves a village. And of course it starts raining as soon as I hit record, so let's head down into the tunnel here to get some cover. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and if you are enjoying the series, please hit the like button and leave any comments you get. It really helps the video and just makes me happy. So anyway, let's get on with today's video. So it's going to be a pretty big build today. We're going to need two things mainly, and that is moss and mud. I haven't got any moss at the moment, but that shouldn't be too hard to find. But in terms of mud, I have built myself this little contraption here, which should convert all of our dirt into mud blocks. This isn't my design. This is a design by Mango. I am not very good at redstone, so would have no idea how to design something like this. But it works very well, and we have been slowly but surely converting all the dirt that we've picked up so far into mud blocks. And I've got a little wheat farm down here, so we can harvest all of that and convert our mud into mud bricks, which is what we're going to be needing for our build today. But the eagle-eyed of you may have realised we're getting pretty close to 100 days here in this world. We're on day 97 at the moment, so just 3 days left to go. And I thought, as a little celebration, we're going to bake ourselves a cake. So I quickly gathered up all the ingredients I needed. I had to wait a bit of time for the chicken to lay an egg, which was a bit annoying, but we've got ourselves a cake now, ready for day 100. Now I spent day 98 harvesting all the potatoes from our farm. We used all the potatoes last episode to build the bony bridge, to convert them into bone meal. So I've been getting our supplies back up. And we're back up to a pretty healthy supply of potatoes now, as well as quite a few poisonous potatoes, which is interesting. But we are on to day 99 now, and I want to spend today exploring the world and trying to find some moss. So I think the best way to look for moss would be to either find it in a shipwreck or find one of those lush caves which are marked by the trees on the surface. So yeah, let's go explore the world and see what we find. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any moss on day 99, but I did find this pretty cool village. And in that village, I've managed to loot a bell and some emeralds. While I was out exploring, I also found some dripstone, which is cool, and this cherry blossom tree. So we've got cherry blossom wood now, which is going to be great for building in the future. But I'm back at base camp now, and it's time to sleep. And when we wake up, we will be on our 100th day in this hardcore world. And there we have it, day 100. I think this might be the longest I've ever survived in a hardcore series, which is great. And to celebrate today, we're going to have ourselves a first slice of cake. So I've got a nice little place here in the tent to put our cake down, and I'm going to leave a sign as well, just saying when we manage to get to day 100, which is the 31st of January. And for the rest of day 100, I'm going to be exploring the world, looking through this ocean, and trying to find different shipwrecks to find some moss for us. The first shipwreck I found didn't have any moss in, but it did have some cool stuff, including these smithing templates, which I'm definitely going to be putting on my armor. But fortunately, the second shipwreck I found did have moss in it, which is brilliant. I also went and found the buried treasure, because why not? It didn't take too long, although, as you can see, I did have to mine out quite a bit of the desert to find it. But yeah, we've got our moss now, so we can head back home and start building. So I started out by clearing all the trees in the area, which really didn't take too long at all. However, the terraforming did take a very long time. So as you can see here, I built a cliff out under the bottom of this little section of land. And then I've converted all the grass in the area to moss, which is this quite satisfying thing to do. And yep, so now we have our mossy plateau ready for our village to be built on. So here we are on our green peninsula where we're going to be building our village today. So the way I want to start out is by mapping out the paths for the village. And the paths are going to be made mainly from these mud bricks, from coarse dirt, and from this kind of packed mud. And it's going to be varying those blocks. So yeah, let's get these paths mapped out. Okay, so we've got an early visitor to the village here. It's just one guy by the looks of it. I did hear one of them dying, so I wonder if he maybe spawned inside the cliff. Yeah, let's get rid of this guy. Oh, okay, that was easy. Anyway, we have got ourselves a fountain built here, and we've got the paths as well. So this fountain is going to be where the villagers end up coming from. So the bubble column actually runs up from the bottom of the mountain up into here. And I think they should be alright to escape. If I get here. Yeah, they should be fine to get out. Might have to play with the design a bit if they're not. But yeah, so this is the way we're going to be getting villagers up into the village. And we should be getting a pretty steady supply of baby villagers over time if we keep feeding them carrots down below. So I think that's quite a nice way to replenish the amount of villagers that we have here. I thought I'd quickly test out the fountain and check it's working, so I've come down into the bottom of the mountain and given these guys all the potatoes I have. So hopefully we'll get a baby soon, and we'll see if he makes his way up to the village. So back up the top here, and we haven't got any villagers that have made their way up yet, but I'm sure they'll be fine and we'll get them eventually. I'll probably go down and throw a few more potatoes at them in a bit. But first we need to start building the houses that they're going to live in. So there's going to be 5 houses in total in this village. And they're going to be built from stone bricks mainly, with mossy roofs and yeah, dark oak frames. So I'm going to start building those now. So there is the first house fully built, and I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. I really like the mossy roof, and I think it goes nicely with the stone base. This is going to be where our farmer villager lives. So it's kind of a farmer slash, I guess, flower gardener kind of villager. So we've got the plant pots out front here. Inside there's just a bed and nothing else really. But then around the side here is where the composter is going to be, so he can get his job. And this is going to be a little farm area in the future. So that's one house down, and now we've just got 4 more to go. I don't want them to all look the same. I want them to be all kind of different in some way. So I'm thinking we're going to have the librarian villager, who's probably going to be over here. We're going to have maybe the smelter over here, and then I don't know who else. But yeah, let's get building some more houses. So I started off by building this tower right here on the edge of the cliff. It looks like it's leaning over the edge, which is pretty cool. This is the tower in which our librarian villager is going to live. So we're going to have lots of books in here and lecterns. As this is the mossy village, I wanted to include moss in all of the builds I've made here. So down the bottom of this tower, I started with mossy cobblestone. I used 2 different variations of wood, and then for the roof, there's even more moss. The next build I worked on here in the village is the armourer's house. So down the bottom is where the forge is going to be, as well as all the smithing equipment, like the grindstone and anvils and stuff like that. And then up the top are going to be the living quarters, where we can have our villagers sleeping. The village is really starting to come together by now. I've finished the armourer's house, as well as this little hobbit hole here where we're going to have our villager trading hall. I also built a stable for Fridge to live in, which is nice, and then I built a cherry blossom tree in the centre of the village. That took a fair amount of time, but the village is now complete, and I think it's looking great. We've got our villagers running around, and we've even got a lot of the interiors done. So I'll give you a quick tour now. So the gate over here is where you come into the village, down from the bony bridge down there. And then on the left here is the stable for Fridge to live in. He's in his gold armor now, looking very cool, which is nice. And then the paths all wind around. So this first path here takes us to this house, which is the gardener's house that we saw earlier. With the little garden around the back here. Then we've got our cherry blossom tree, which I think is looking really cool. The fountain, which the villagers spring up from every once in a while, like this guy. They're like tiger villagers, which are really cool. They look nice with their little coats. Okay, so we'll do the tower first. So the tower is one of my favourite builds, I've got to say. We've got our bookshelves in here. I need to get some lecterns in here, actually. But you can go all the way up to the top, which is really cool. You can see out the windows. So yeah, you can see all the amplified terrain. We can keep moving up to the top here. And from the top here, you can even see, just over there, a tiger village, which is one I visited earlier. But yeah, it's pretty cool up here. And you can see out for a pretty long way. So next up is the armorer's house, which is a pretty cool build. We've got all the equipment down the bottom here. Stonecutter, this thingy, the anvil, our furnaces, and some iron armor. And then up the top here, you've got where the villagers sleep. So we've just got a couple of beds, armor stand, and some chests full of all the junk I haven't used yet. But anyway, moving on. We've got our hobbit hole over here, which is probably the most important build. It's where I've got my villager trading set up. So I've managed to get some quite good books. We've got Silk Touch from this guy, Mending here, Efficiency 5, which is good. I don't think I've ever got that from a villager before. And this guy's got Unbreaking 3. I did accidentally hit him with my axe, which is a bit unfortunate. So he's charging us quite a bit of emeralds for those books. But hey ho, what can you do? But yeah, that's the village all complete. And that is this episode all complete. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.